Hello and good evening. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation podcast live with myself, Owen, and my co-host all the way on location from her car in a place I can't pronounce in Canada, Victoria Searle. Victoria, how are you?
I'm good. So I'm in Etobicoke right now because I have a hair appointment in about an hour. So I'm sitting here in a Tim Hortons car park doing this with you guys today. How are you, Owen?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, just at home in a very boring place called Nuneaton in England, which is, well,
Oh,
it's so bad. It makes probably Clydebank look like Las Vegas. It's that bad. Apologies to
oh
anybody from
no. Well,
Clydebank.
you're always welcome here, so feel free to visit anytime.
Okay, I'll head to that place you're in that I can't pronounce.
Okay,
I'll come to Tim Hortons car park very soon.
perfect.
Okay, and we're joined by lots of regulars in the live chat by Aldo the Sniper McNaught. Evening team, he's one rough pup today. Aldo, have you been out on the beers, my friend?
Sounds like
Full
it.
respect to you, Aldo. Nicholas as well, Stuart as well in the live chat. Lots of people saying hello to each other in the live chat as well. Let's quickly whiz through see if we can find anybody else. Hugh, hello, Hugh. Hello from sunny Florida.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, it's your dad. Hello, Mr. Searle. How are you, sir? Gallant Pioneer in the live chat as well today. Let's find where his comment is. Here we go. How'd the live show go last night? Although rough today, that's probably why he's rough. So Gallant in there. Blue Nose John as well. Good evening, Owen, Victoria, and all the teddy bears in the chat. And that's pretty much it there for the moment. So, guys, remember so tonight the show is all about your questions and our best efforts to answer your questions. You know, when I started this channel way back when, well, not that long ago, it was only actually about 85 days ago, Victoria. It's incredible,
I
isn't it?
know.
And did you know, Victoria, we've done 85 days. And I just want to say one thing to the people who are watching tonight. Thank you so much for all your support. We are blown away by the amount of support, the comments, the fantastic comments we get. And this is our total at the moment of how many subs we are currently on after only 85 days. It really does show how fantastic the Rangers family truly is. 1,237 subscribers. So thank you, everybody, for your support. It's absolutely fantastic. We've also got
Incredible.
Caroline now in the live chat as well. So good evening to you all. Ewan Minton, good evening, Owen, and the lovely Victoria from the GRN crew. So you're lovely. I'm nothing. That's nice, isn't it?
Oh, that's not true.
Just put Victoria on the main screen. Thanks, Gallant. Yeah, cheers, mate, for that.
For teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
And somebody from sunny Vancouver as well.
Beautiful.
We've got Scott. Okay, guys. So we're going to pull up what we're going to do tonight is we're going to pull up your questions. I put up a community post on the channel and put a mailbag on there and asked you to put your questions up in there. So we're going to go through your questions, and Victoria and I are going to do our very best to answer them and to give you our most educated Rangers type answers. So let's start with question one, which the first one says. This one is from Derek Gray. Says, do the changes happening around the club instill some much needed positivity for how we are moving forward, or create some worry for us fans who've had to deal with the charlatans stepping into the boardroom before? So Victoria, what's your take on all the changes that are currently going on at the club?
So, from what I've heard with interviews and everything like that, and putting everything together, I feel like these are good changes that are happening. I feel that there's a much needed positive change, especially when it comes to them saying, "Let's listen to the fans. Let's talk to the NARSA committees. Let's listen to the fans over there. Let's talk to the Union Bears and see what they have to say," and so on and so forth. So, as we know, it's the fans that drive the club. Without the fans, you don't have any club. So what they're doing is actually the correct thing in my eyes, and you can only go up from there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the changes that have come have been fantastic, I think, for the club in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the fact that these guys that have come in, I mean, in particular, I'm going to mention James Bisgrove. I'm going to single him out for a
Yeah,
moment.
of course.
James Bisgrove has been, for me, just a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not going to no comment on whatever the past was, but just dealing with the present now. James Bisgrove has come in and he seems so focused on, number one, Rangers' future. He's got a clear vision for that future, and he's got such a positive manner. And the way
Mm-hmm.
that he's gone straight from day one, and I know he hasn't officially taken the job on as CEO yet, but the way he's
Mm-hmm.
engaging with the fans, in terms of, he's met with the Union Bears, he's met with the Rangers supporters group, he's spoken to NASA, he's organised quarterly fan forums.
Yeah.
He's wants to set up a Rangers fans advisory board to advise as well. He just seems to me to be so switched on to doing what the fans have wanted for so long, in terms of to be a part of the club, and I don't think that's just Rangers. That's all clubs have kind of, I don't know, at times do forget their fans. They do, and that's not a criticism of anybody in particular. It's just a case of that's what happens at football clubs. But I think James Bisgrove has made a huge difference to this club, and just his whole attitude is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't know what your take is on James, Victoria, but I think he's brilliant for the club.
Yeah, I think he's really good. Like, I didn't know too much about his background and about his personality, but as I'm listening to the interviews, I feel like he's the type of guy that actually cares. He's not just there to collect a paycheck and say, you know what, we're going to see how it goes. Let's bring in some new players, throw them on the pitch, and that's that. No, he actually seems like he has a lot of thought process behind what he does. And like you said, he's actually listening, not just to the people inside Ibrox, but also the people outside of Ibrox, which is a huge thing. And I think he's going to be one of the best that we probably had. I'm going to call it now, and that's what I'm going to say, only for the fact that he listens. And I don't know about the implementation part yet, because we're still early on in days, but from what I've seen from him and his personality, he seems like he's going to make a big difference, because he truly cares. And I feel like it comes down to he's one of the people, just like us.
Absolutely, yeah. And just his whole thing about saying how, you know, they talked to him about obviously investment into the club, and he said, you know, that there's not a need for that investment at this moment, because the board and the investors that we have totally bought into what Michael Beale wants for this summer. And, you know, like Nicholas says in the live chat here, he says, you know, summer recruitment will be massive, and it seems to me that what recruitment that we need is in place, and the board are backing that recruitment from what Bisgrove has said. And, you know, James Bisgrove, the one thing that came across in that press conference that he did, and in that in that interview that he gave to Rangers TV, was the whole idea that he was so positive about the recruitment, so positive about the fact that this is important. We will get this right. This is the key. This is important. Yeah. And as fans, that's all we want to hear, is them really thinking about bringing this club forward and taking this club on to the next level. And I think he's definitely doing that. And like Aldo says in the live chat, I don't know why, but I'm buzzing for next season. The title is coming back home.
I hope so too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, live chat's going pretty mad. My ghost is back. No, that was actually my daughter crawling into the room to get something off the bed that she'd left in the bed from earlier.
She's so respectful.
She is very respectful, bless her. They are really good, my girls, actually. So this question next, I think, kind of links to a question that Caroline asked in the live chat, and I'll try and find that question in a minute. Rich Durant says, and I like his little picture there, keep calm and hate Celtic. Do Rangers need Jack Butland when they have McCrory? That's his question. Victoria, what do you think of that? Do we need Jack Butland still when we've got Robbie McCrory, or, you know?
I don't know. I'm quite happy with McCrory. I don't think it's needed. I guess it's always good to have a little extra, but I trust in McCrory 100%. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, then there's the question that Caroline asked. Just want to link into that question. Do you think McCrory should be our keeper next season?
Definitely.
And Aldo says, I personally don't think we need Butland. I think personally, my opinion going forward, McCrory's been fantastic since he's come into the club, come in and be the number one, and he's 4 clean sheets, and he's done it against Celtic. He's done it in Europe, obviously previously in one of the Europa League games, and he did it obviously against Aberdeen. He did it, you know, he's done it 4 times. He's done it twice against them as well. But it's not just that. And people could say, oh well, you know, the pressure's not on, etc., etc. But as someone who, look, I'm not a coach to the level of Michael Beale. Look, but I've done my FA level 1 coaching over here. I used to coach when I was younger, and when I watch him as a keeper, he has all the attributes to be an outstanding goalkeeper. He reads the game. He makes himself big. He commands his area. He takes the attitude that anything between his line and that penalty spot is his ball, and he is going to come and get it. And he doesn't care who's in his way. He will clear them out to get that ball. And for me, that's impressive. And do I think we need Butland? No, because the problem will be if Butland comes in, realistically, he's going to come in as number 1, because you're signing this. Obviously, the guy's free, but you're going to be paying him a lot of wages to come in, and he's not going to come and sit on the bench. I'd rather see them go and get someone who is a talented backup for McCrory and try and push McCrory that way rather than bring in Butland.
Yeah.
That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think McCrory is the type of person that he's waited for his chance. And yes, he has some big feet to fill, especially with who we unfortunately are letting go of. But give the guy a chance because he's proven himself. There's no need to bring in somebody else. I agree with you 100%. It's good to bring out a backup, but let's give the kid a chance because I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, as Stuart says, I don't rate Butland. He's not played for 2 years. We need a keeper to come in and hit the ground running, and can't see that from Butland.
Yeah.
Nicholas Moore says in the live chat, McCrory deserves his big chance next season. He's really impressed me in the last few games. I think he's impressed everyone, and he's had
absolutely
some pretty great reviews. In terms of that. Scott05 says, still need another keeper with more experience to compete with McCrory because he will make mistakes. He's still relatively young for a keeper. Yeah, he's only 25 years old, which, in football terms, if you're an outfield player, isn't that young, but for a goalkeeper, that is very, very young.
Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't matter because he's got the skill set, right? So you can still be a young player and have a full skill set. So that's my only disagreement there.
Yeah, it says, I think you need a good competition between goalkeepers. What I would perhaps look at in terms of a reserve keeper coming in would be to bring someone in who has experience and who's a bit more veteran than McCrory, who can help advise and bring him on. Because I think having someone with a bit of experience behind you does actually help you and does actually develop you, because they've been in that situation more. They can advise you. And I know that, with my American sports head on for a minute, in the NFL, young quarterbacks tend to have someone behind them who is a veteran to advise them and to be like a mentor to them. And I think that'll be good for Rangers and for Robbie going forward.
Yeah.
And Caroline, 100% agree with you on that one.
Yes, Owen and I were actually just talking about that before the live chat happened, and yes, 100%. It's just unfortunate, like we were saying, that they're doing it at this time and not the start of the season.
Absolutely. And as Aldo says here, McGregor was the same age as Robbie when he came into the first team. Absolutely. So let's have a look at our next question. So this question is from David Hutchison. He says, do you think the fans will get off Beale's back now and give him a chance? Raskin and Cantwell, what's not to like? Need to believe people. So Victoria, what's your take on that one, on that question?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think what we have to do is trust that they know what they're doing. Obviously, we don't know the personalities that people have until we get to know them, until they do more interviews and all that stuff. But trust in the guy. He was picked for the job for a reason. So there's no reason that we should bash him or say, oh, he's doing this wrong or doing that wrong. He's just joined. Give him a chance. What do you think?
Absolutely. Look, he's always, when interviewed, one of the things that's come across when he's been interviewed to me has been the fact that he's kind of said it's a bit like managing your way through this season to get to the summer, to get his players in. And I think, look, if you look at the situation where in January, Raskin and Cantwell came in, and I think we can all kind of agree now, don't we, that Cantwell and Raskin are probably the two best players on the pitch most games now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a few dodgy games recently because he's wasn't fully fit. But Beale's clearly got an excellent eye for a player. And I think we've got to put our faith in him. We've got to give him the summer, give him January, the 2 transfer windows, let him build his team. And I think, with his coaching ability, I think he's got the potential to really take this club on. And like he said in the press conference yesterday, he said, look, we beat Celtic on Sunday. We played very well. We took our chances. We didn't make the mistakes we've made in previous games. But he said, I didn't think we were tactically that too far away from them in the 2 games that we lost, which if you go back and watch them, even though they are very painful viewing, we weren't that far away from them. And it was just the fact that we made defensive howlers and we weren't clinical, which on Saturday, we completely eliminated. No defensive howlers, very clinical in front of goal. Even Fashion was clinical. So, at the end of the day, for me, I think, we've got to give him that chance now to really develop this team. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there.
Right, so next question. As long as Beale keeps bringing in players of quality, of Cantwell and Raskin, the fans will be fine. That's more a comment than a question. I think we agree with that one, don't we, Victoria?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when you look at Cantwell and the player that he's developing himself to become, I think he's going to be, in comparison. Remember when Morelos joined and everyone was on that Morelos train saying, oh, he's the best player, he's this, he's that. You knew when he came on, he was going to score a goal.
Yeah.
I think that's who Cantwell is developing himself into being. Now, I still love Morelos as a player. I think he's wonderful. But when we're talking about this team that's up and coming, Cantwell is one of those players that we're going to be watching out for, and I think could be one of the stronger ones of the squad.
100%. And as D says here, we all know how bad it's been this season, but it's nothing to do with Beale. Give the guy a chance. I think
100% D.
Absolutely. And I got to see this. I would love a team of 11 Cantwells. Not quite sure.
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
Don't know if he could play in goal though. That's the only thing I'd say about that one.
Just clone him. Many of them.
And then this quick comment here, just before we go on to the next question, from Nicholas Moore saying, "Great seeing Ryan Jack getting a 1-year contract extension. The guy lives and breathes Rangers." Just a quick take from you, Victoria, on Ryan's 1-year contract.
I personally absolutely love the guy, and I'm happy. When it popped up on my phone, I was so excited for him. He's a Rangers guy through and through. And he's someone that I want to see on the team and continue, especially when it comes to next season. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I think he's going to be a great asset to the squad continuing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like I said on the video that I did yesterday when breaking the news that he'd signed the 1-year contract extension.
Yeah.
Just the fact that this guy makes everyone else around him better because they know he's back there covering. He drops in and covers for Tab. He drops in and covers for Ridvan Oborna. He lets Lundstrom and Raskin go forward because they know that behind them he is there and he is not going anywhere, and he's rock solid. And his comments as well, that I think I've got the quote anymore here, but his comments were all showing how much he loves this club and he loves being here. So
exactly. He's a team player, that's for sure.
Ewan Minton says, Victoria, what are the sport people saying about Cifuentes' possible deal with Rangers across the pond? I can't speak. Is it as close as some people are making out here? Is there anything on across the pond about Cifuentes to Rangers?
You know what? I haven't seen too much about it. So I'm going to have to look into that, and I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to do some research on it. I know your comment is below, but feel free to do it in the comment section. And once I do some research, I'm going to comment back and let you know for sure.
Yeah, because he plays in the MLS, doesn't he, in Los Angeles, which is several thousand miles south of where Victoria is.
It is. It's way in a different place. But I'm curious to know best. I will look it up and I will get back to you.
Yeah, see if there's anything across the pond. That feels weird, me saying across the pond, because usually Americans refer to me as being across the pond.
It's very true. They do.
Very, very true. Here we go. So this is the next question now. Again, Blue Nose John. This is, hello Owen. How would you give up UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League progression for having a real strong attempt at winning the UEFA Conference League? So UEFA Conference League is the league below the UEFA Europa League. I suppose it's like a kind of old Cup Winners' Cup kind of thing. I think it's West Ham, Fiorentina in the final this year. I'm going to go first on this. I personally wouldn't. I think Rangers need to qualify for the Champions League and then aim to finish third in the group, so then they can drop down to the Europa League after Christmas. The reason I think that is, even if we don't have a great Champions League group stage, which will be hopefully better than the one that just had us all sitting last year going, I don't want to watch this. I do not want to watch this. It's the money. At the end of the day, it is the money. You make so much money from Champions League football. The average take by a team that play in the Champions League, when you average in gate revenues, television revenues, UEFA revenues, everything, is £53 million. More than double what Rangers got for getting all the way to the Europa League final. So it is money. And I think for the club at the moment, the way the club is, the fact we need to develop the squad, the fact that as well that we're still obviously talking about developing Ibrox in terms of the safe standing that James Bisgrove talked about, the disabled facilities, the Edmiston House project. We need to generate as much income as possible. And the more income we generate, the less likely we are to fall behind that lot from across the city who are, unfortunately, at the moment generating a little bit more income than us. So, no, I wouldn't. I'd prefer to get in the Champions League, even if we finish third, which, realistically, we could qualify. It depends on the group. But if you're drawn in a group with the likes of Juventus and Bayern Munich and Liverpool, look, I love Rangers to bits, but I'm a realist. Those clubs are a lot stronger than us. They have more money than us. They're always going to be in a pole position, aren't they? So, but no, I'd rather be in the Champions League or the Europa League. Victoria?
Yeah, you know what, Owen, I'm actually going to agree with you with that one there. When it comes down to money talks and money is important, it is difficult to compete against some of those teams that you just mentioned. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you 100%. The money is an important aspect of that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to go for that, especially if you do want to develop your club. You want to bring in better players and everything like that. You have to make certain decisions.
Obviously, Aldo slightly disagrees here. He says he'd rather compete in the Europa League than get pumped in the Champions League. I think, again, I think you've got to kind of balance it off with a little bit, though, that I don't think under Michael Beale we would get taken apart as easily as we did under Gio. I think he's more tactically astute than Gio. The players will be fitter, stronger, etc., etc. So I don't think that will happen next season.
No, I totally agree with you. I think the guy actually knows what he's doing. So any task that is coming towards him, he has the mindset to win. And 100%. That's all he's going to be thinking of. No matter where he's competing, who he's competing against, I think he's going to look at these teams and say, you know what? They're humans, just like us, that play football. Now we're going to show them that we play better. You just play for a different team.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so next question. Victoria, if you want to look away at this point, please feel free.
I will. I'll take a sip of my Starbucks drink over here.
Other coffee shops are available. With the amount of players leaving, should Rangers accept an offer for Hadji if one comes in? Go on, Victoria. Go on, give it to him.
Who are you? No. This is not happening. Hadji is a fantastic player. He is staying with us. I think he has a lot to prove with himself. Yes, I absolutely love the guy. He's my favorite player out there. But he has put in so much work when he's been off to develop himself as a player. He ain't going anywhere. I know a lot of people said in the past, oh, he's going to leave this season, blah, 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 blah. Has he left yet?
No.
No, and why? Because he has something to prove. Don't you agree, Owen? I hope you agree.
So we've got, just before I answer this question, Hadji will stay for sure. Beale loves him.
My new favorite person, Aldo.
Scott 05 agrees with you. Look, he's handsome. Nicholas Moore says need to keep Hadji. Look,
100%.
Look, at the moment, with the number of players going out of the club this summer, obviously, I mean, Jack's staying, and we think there could be one more from that list of 8, 9, if you include Tillman, who are staying. So that's 7 players going out. Plus, you're going to have a situation where other players are going to be sold. James Bisgrove said that. Michael Beale said that, because he said they've taken phone calls about players and they obviously can't make announcements until the end of the season. So there are players going to be going out. Realistically, we still need a squad. We still need a strength in depth there. Hadji provides that strength in depth. If we go back to the 55 season, he was outstanding in the 55 season.
Of course.
He needs an opportunity, I think, to impress. Plus also the fact that for me, the offers we're getting at the moment are what I would call derisory. 3 million is not enough. No. I think give him a season. If he can play somewhere back near he was during 55, we can get 5-7 million for him further down the line. Now, I know that will make, look, I don't want to see Victoria cry. I don't handle crying very well. But that's the player trading model, isn't it? At the end of the day, that is the player trading model that we are doing as a club, that we are bringing players in, we are developing them, we are selling them. Yeah. Because unfortunately, that is the world we live in. Unless we get some multi-billionaire investor who's going to come and buy the club lock, stock and barrel and doesn't mind just throwing money at it. That's the unfortunate world we do live in. So, no, I don't think Hadji should be sold at all. So, and I'm not just saying that because Victoria sat there. I know that she'll kick my backside when she sees me. So,
once this live stream goes off, and I'll have a chat. No, I agree with you as well. You know, it comes down to what we said before. Money talks.
Absolutely.
So if there is that opportunity, not right now, but in the future, well, yeah, of course, that's something that you have to address. It's the way that it works. Players get sold, players come in. It's not going to be with the team forever, but I think he's going to be definitely a very good contender for next season, especially with the development that we've been watching him do.
And Juicy Bear says Hagi owes us a season after supporting him. It would be poor losing him so soon after his recovery.
Yeah.
Loads, guys. I'm trying to keep up with the live chat. The live chat is going so quickly tonight. Lots and lots of comments.
Oh, good.
So apologies if I don't get to you. I am trying to get to you as fast as possible.
I wish I could help you, Owen, but I actually physically can't see the live chat right now, which sucks.
No, I'm going to try and find a way to get it. So, question here says Champions League, the cash and a few potentially humiliating results, or Europa League and an inspiring, life-affirming run deep into the competition. That's a question from Derek Gray. Victoria, so Champions League, cash and a few potentially humiliating results, or would you rather play in the Europa League? I know we kind of answered that, but just to sort of reaffirm that.
So, money talks, but I don't like to lose. So I'm going to say Europa League.
Okay.
Money is good. It talks, like I said, but I don't like the humiliation aspect of the question. If that was out of it, maybe it would be different. Yeah. But I don't see this team doing bad for next season. So I'm going to go with Europa for sure. How about you, Owen? Which one would you choose? Humiliating results or?
I'm going to be greedy and go for the Champions League, finish third with a few humiliating results, and then the Europa League and go all the way to the final. But that's just me being greedy. So,
Yeah. See, that would be pretty good too. I'm so on the fence about it. Oh my gosh.
I mean, obviously, a lot depends if we actually qualify, because there is a lot. Obviously, there is a nightmare scenario, and there is a not so nightmare scenario that could go for Rangers, and that's for another podcast closer to the time when we find out the draw. D says, unfortunately, we are not a buying club at the moment. We are a selling club, so if a big offer comes for Hagi, I think they might sell him. Why would they want to make Victoria cry? I don't understand it.
I don't know it, you guys.
I think we're all with Caroline on that one, obviously, for when the season does finish and how we're going to cope with no football.
You know, that'd be the worst. Oh, there's my dad up. Champions League for me, he says.
Mr. Searle, sir, I agree with you. Definitely. I like your dad. He's a very wise man, Victoria.
He is actually a very wise man. He has a lot of very good opinions. We should have him on here one day. I think it'd be quite entertaining.
Mr. Searle, sir, I am officially inviting you on the podcast. Just let Victoria know when you're available and we'll have you on to talk Rangers. I would love to be able to have Victoria's dad on here to talk. And you can keep Victoria under control for me.
I try.
Okay, next question says, do you worry about the fact we aren't linked with any strikers? Kent went, or is the board... Are the board going to do a Connor Goldson again and wait to see if Kent and Morelos sign contracts first? Because that worries me. They checked out a long time ago. So, Victoria, are you worried about all the names that we've been linked with so far? We haven't really seen a lot of strikers.
No, not really, because from what I've been listening to in interviews, I trust that Rangers know what they're doing. So that's like 100% my opinion on it. I trust them. They have a plan. I mean, obviously, from what we've heard, they have a plan about the fans, and they also have a plan about the players. So this isn't something that they're taking lightly. And like we said, stuff is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So that's my opinion there.
I mean, I think it's kind of a little bit, I don't know, wrong to say we aren't linked. We have been linked with a number of strikers. It's just nothing appears to be close at the moment. But I think that's down to the fact that we've still got 3 games to go. The players that we've been linked with. So we were linked with Joel Pirot from Swansea.
Yes.
The championship only finished 2 weeks ago. They've got uncertainty over their manager, the future of their manager at the moment. The other one was Josh Madja, who plays for Bordeaux in the French second division. Again, their season hasn't finished yet. So I do think there are irons in the fire in terms of strikers, but I just think at the moment the club can't do anything because of where we are in terms of league seasons across Europe are not wholly finished. You know, the Italian league is still going on. The Spanish league is still going on. The German league is still going on. The EPL is still going on. We've got 3 games left in the Scottish Premier League. You know, yes, down south, the Championship, League One, League Two are all done in terms of the actual league seasons, but the playoffs are still happening. So I think there's still until the seasons all finish, I don't think we'll know anything for certain on strikers because strikers are such a precious and expensive commodity. And
exactly. And obviously it's a good thing that they're waiting a little bit because it makes people also wonder what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Maybe we should buy Rangers FC a coffee. Give them some money.
Maybe we should.
Okay, so let's talk about that question. Okay, so Alexander asks, should Rangers bring back Joe Aribo? Because now, I don't know if you know, Victoria, but obviously I'm sure you know that Joe Aribo went to Southampton, but Southampton have been relegated to the Championship from the English Premier League. So we'll be playing Championship football next season. Joe Aribo also hasn't made a massive breakthrough down there, shall we say. But Southampton have had three different managers this season. And the manager that brought him in, Hasenhüttl, I think he's called, he was sacked just before Christmas. Would you welcome Joe Aribo back to Glasgow, or do you think the team's moved on from Aribo?
I mean, it sounds really harsh to say. I like the guy. I think he was a great player. But I also think it's a good thing to look forward and to bring in new people. And that's that with that one. It's unfortunate for me to say it that way. Would I ever be mad if he came back? Not at all. But we also need to look forward to the future and maybe new players about this new season that we're going to be starting. What do you think? Are we going to think about bringing back old players, or do you think we should actually just focus on the future, ignore some of the stuff that happened in the past, and bring in some fresh faces?
No, I mean, I don't think we bring him back now. I think we've moved on. We've got Cantwell, we've got Hadji, we've got Kieran Dowell prospectively coming in as well. He's more of an attacking midfielder. Plus, I just think as well, how much realistically is he gonna cost? I mean, Southampton paid an awful lot of money for him, and he's probably on a very high wage down in England, and they'll still get parachute payments. He'll be still paid highly down there. So if we wanted to bring him back, I think he's out of our price bracket, and to me he's not consistent enough to merit paying those massive wage too. And like I said, we've got Cantwell, we've got Dowell, Hadji, we've got Alex Lowry as well. I don't think we need to go back to Joe Aribo. Definitely not. I think that would be a slight backward step at this point.
And we have to look forward.
Absolutely. Question here was, Aldo RFC, different Aldo, says any news leak on the new Rangers kits? I haven't seen anything, Aldo, yet at all.
No.
Victoria, have you seen anything?
I have not seen anything yet. And usually these things pop up on my Twitter feed, but no, I haven't seen anything yet. And that's kind of a good thing, I think. Create that element of surprise. But I wonder how many shirts they're going to be bringing out for next season. Because I'll tell you one thing, my bank account was hurting from the shirts that I was buying. Especially the one that's going to be on my Twitter very, very shortly.
From NASA.
Yes, the one that I'm keeping a secret for a little bit.
We're looking forward to that. Son Claire Brahman R says, surely any decent striker gets 20 goals. Ask Tav. Yes, that is rather embarrassing that Tav is our top scorer at this moment in time.
Love Tav.
I love Tav as well. I know some people don't, but I do love Tav. Scott05 says, should we sell Kamara and Barisic? Victoria, what's your take on this? Should we sell Kamara and Barisic?
I don't know. I actually I quite like them. But if we're getting a better offer and someone that's better than them, well, that's what we should do. But I like the guys. What do you think?
Personally, I would sell Kamara. I think he's kind of checked out a little bit now. Plus, he hasn't really featured since the Viaplay Cup final where he was particularly awful. So, yes, I would sell Kamara. I think we'll probably only get $1 million, $2 million for him. But if you consider we paid £50,000 for him, that's a massive profit.
Exactly.
Barisic, I would hang on to for a bit longer, even just as a backup for Ridvan. I think he's got the quality to be to come in and play some games next season. So, I would definitely keep hold of him as a backup to Yilmaz, though, because I do rate Yilmaz an awful lot higher than Barisic at this moment in time. Stuart says in the live chat, agree, Callum, can't wait to see Cantwell and Lawrence playing together. Obviously, that's Tom Lawrence, obviously, who's been out for most of this season. Yeah,
that's true. I'm excited to see him come back on, for sure.
He'll be like a new signing, won't he, Victoria?
He will be. And he's one of those characters, when I first seen him play, I thought he was extremely strong. So I think he's going to be another one of the good ones for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. A few people in the live chat say RFC 72 says I'd take a couple of million for Barisic as well. Sterling can play left back also. That he's talking about Dujon Sterling, who we have allegedly signed from Chelsea, who apparently turned down a new contract at Chelsea to come to Rangers, which is good news indeed. Aldo's correct. Lawrence will be like a new signing. And Caroline wants to sell Kamara. Definitely. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the Q&A show tonight with myself and Victoria. Like I said, we always have as our aim to try and bring you in and make this a fan community. My aim from watching podcasts and doing podcasts from America has always been to try and get you, the fans, involved, to make this as fan-driven as possible and to give you a contribution, a way of contributing, because I think sometimes some podcasts kind of ignore live chats, ignore the fans, and kind of forget where they came from. And for me, and I don't know about you, for you, Victoria, I think it's so important to remember that Victoria and I I had a great term for this, Victoria. My good mate Mark Davison, who runs a Steelers Nation Australia, he calls us fanalists, which I think is a great analysts. I like
that. So I like that a lot.
We're fanalists. So I think as fanalists, we've got to remember, and for me, it's so important to remember where we came from. We came from where you guys are as fans to come and do this. And we don't forget, for me, that we are still fans. We are still the same as you. And we want to involve you in everything we do. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know whether I think I know how you feel, Victoria. But what's your take on that?
I totally agree with you. I mean, without people watching the channel, without people subscribing to the channel, there is no channel. So I'm always so appreciative of people that want to join, people that want to watch, who take the time to comment back and chat with them, because they're fans of the channel, which is amazing. But they're also fans of Rangers, just like you and I. So I think that's great. And it's creating our own little Glasgow Rangers Nation community, our own little Glasgow Rangers Nation family. So I'm always so thankful of comments, people taking time out of their day to join in on this, and just having a really, really good chat. So I couldn't be more thankful, especially when I go to different events and people come up and they compliment, they say, I really enjoyed this, or why don't you guys try this? I mean, we're a community. So let's build the best podcast community we can out there with Glasgow Rangers Nation. And it's thanks to the people that take the time out of their day to actually watch this channel.
Absolutely. 100% agree with what Victoria said. And as Aldo says there, cheers, Erin, and the beautiful Victoria. Chat always a pleasure. We are people. Aldo, man. Am I not beautiful? Nicholas Moore says, Erin, Glasgow Rangers Nation is definitely one of the top Rangers pods now. Well done to you and Victoria.
Thank you.
There's just so many positive comments. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And guys, back at the start, it was so easy to get through the live chat, but now it is very hard to keep on top of with all you guys commenting. But we love your comments. We always read your comments. I always go back and re-watch the pod and go back through which gives me a chance to actually read your comments as well. So thank you very much indeed. Oh, thanks, Aldo. I love you, Aldo.
Love it.
Aldo, go to Specsavers, mate. Anyway. Thank you so much indeed, guys. Victoria, what are your final thoughts ahead of tomorrow?
Okay, so Owen and I actually had this chat yesterday about tomorrow. And in the past, I've done my game predictions of the players that I think are going to be on. But the last one that I did, when it was the Old Firm, I actually said to my dad, I'm like, we're going to win 3-0. And I said to Owen, I think it was on the live podcast, I don't care who they put on, as long as they score goals. So I have this stipulation now that if I pick my players, that we might lose. So now I'm just going to say, whoever you want to put on, as long as they score goals, I do not care. And my scoring prediction for tomorrow is probably going to be, let's shoot for the stars. Let's go for 4-1. What do you think, Owen?
I like it. Aldo says 4-0. Raskin, Screamer. Let's quickly whiz through these. Caroline says 3-1 Rangers. Cantwell first goal.
Fabulous.
I'm going to go 3-0 Rangers tomorrow. Cantwell to score. I think John Lundstrom will sneak a little goal in there because
that'd be good.
Especially if I criticise him beforehand. And I think, you know what? I think Fashion will score. I think he might fall over. It might hit his arse and go in. But, you know, hey, everything counts.
That would be great, as long as it goes in.
Definitely. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Hugh says, quick last couple of scores here. We've got 2-0 from Nicholas Tavern Cantwell. Rangers Loyalist says 3-0. Hugh says 5-0. And Scott05 says 3-1.
5-0 would be fantastic.
So yeah, guys, please come and join us tomorrow. I will be doing a live watch along tomorrow of the game. So please come and join me for that. Again, like I said, it's been absolutely fantastic speaking to you. Obviously, keep your eyes open for all the content that comes up from Glasgow Rangers Nation. Thank you, Victoria, for joining me tonight. Guys, we'll be back to speak to you very soon here on the channel. Thank you for watching and good night.